here on CBS Sports HQ. College football pregame presented by Hellman's. We're about to go through some hypothetical college football playoff scenarios here. Is your team worthy or unworthy of making the college football playoff? Our whole crew is here on set. Damian Harris, Mackenzie Brooks, Danny Cannell, and Beanie Wells with you. I'm Jordan Giorgio. You know, we may break some fans' hearts here, but sometimes you need to be told the truth. Let's start with our first scenario, okay? If an 11-1 Indiana team with a lone loss to Ohio State is worthy or unworthy of making the college football playoff. Ken, you go first.
I think if they make it, it should be a double-digit seed. I don't think you should be rewarded for the most impressive thing you've done this season is lose to a team 3 seeds ahead of you. If there are some 10-2 teams that have a stronger resume. If you've played bottom feeders, the bottom 6 feeders of your conference all season, and the highest hook you can hang your hat on is I covered a double-digit spread against a team 3 seeds higher than me, you should not be ranked higher than 10 in this college football playoff.
Well, that sounds different than the exercise we were given.
There's a lot more if scenarios in there.
Because I was thinking, I'm like, she sounds like me. Which I do agree. If they lose, I think no matter what the score is, if it's a 1-point loss, I think they'll be a double-digit seed. I think they'll drop like 9, 10, 11. They'll probably be going on the road, like at the very least, which I think is probably accurate. But I think this like whole discussion about whether they get in with 1 loss or not, like what is the score, I think it's all ridiculous. I think they've already proven over the course of the season, assuming they beat Purdue, that 11-1 team from the Big Ten should be in. So I think they're absolutely worthy.
Okay, so you're unworthy with a bunch of other like if scenarios.
Yeah, I was going to say on the paper,
I was like, that wasn't the game.
If you want me to play the Indiana bill, I'll play the Indiana bill.
You're really starting us off strong here. Okay, let's get to the SEC here now. Is a 10-2 Texas team with a loss to Georgia and hypothetically a loss at the end of the season to Texas A&M still worthy or unworthy of the college football playoff?
No, they'll be completely unworthy. You know, when you look at Texas, you look at their schedule, you look at how they played within that schedule, they haven't been overly dominant. And when you look at teams that have lost, I would like to see some dominance on their records when they matched up with certain people. When you look at Texas, what's their strength? We don't even know that. They're not a physical football team in the trenches. Yes, Quinn Ewers has been good, but he's been bad at times too. And then they're just now starting to figure out they can run the ball with the trio of running backs that they have. So I think Texas is certainly unworthy. They need to have dominated better opponents and a strength of schedule.
Yeah, I'm with Beanie. They're unworthy. Texas is like that team that, you know, one morning you wait, it's like a woman. One morning, one day you love them, and the next day you just wake up and you're just like,
give me a hard time, man. Get away from me.
Really. I still like you, but I'm not. No. Listen, hold on. I said there's a difference between a girl and a wife.
No,
there's a difference between a girl and a wife now.
You know what? I love when you two agree.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Wife. There's a difference between a girl and my wife at home to take care of my boy now. But I just woke up one morning. I just didn't love Texas anymore. This was before they lost to Georgia. They're not really great at anything. They don't do anything particularly well. Ooh. I mean, they're entering like BYU territory where they're just good at a lot of things, but they're not great at anything. And then the biggest thing is they don't have a big win. If they lose to Texas A&M and they lose to Georgia, they got no big wins.
All right, this one is a true story because we have a Tennessee team that's 10-2 with losses to Arkansas and Georgia. A scenario where if Tennessee wins out here, Mackenzie, worthy or unworthy?
I think they are worthy, bearing there is enough spots now between them and Ole Miss. I think Tennessee has a slighter better chance to win out the season, so it would make this decision a lot easier. If Ole Miss doesn't win out, maybe they get upset by Florida today, and then we have a Tennessee team that did win out. Again, just part of the strength of schedule, very similar to Ole Miss, but I think they have the better chance of going through the rest of the season dominating than Ole Miss would, so I would put them in.
I think they're worthy as well. When you look at Tennessee, you look at how they played, I think they've been very dominant at times, but I got an asterisk there because I don't necessarily like their schedule. I don't like their strength of schedule. And then when you look at...
We are getting whiny about these.
Oh, my goodness. I wish I was in on this one. Get them out the paint. Get them out. This team does not belong in this conversation. Their best win against Alabama. We keep going with these.
That's a great win.
Vanderbilt. Is it a great win for Vanderbilt? Like, that's what's driving me crazy about all these. You're getting the brand of Alabama.
He just couldn't hold back.
That was a good win for Vanderbilt.
Losing to Georgia.
It was.
Yeah, he just couldn't help himself,
Danny
you guys.
made my
I'm
point
sorry.
for me, so thank you.
Yeah. All right, lastly here, let's get to the Big 12. 10-2 Colorado team with a loss in the Big 12 championship. Worthy or unworthy? We'll get everyone in here, but we'll start with you, Damian.
I would say unworthy, but only because we have this expectation there's only going to be one Big 12 team. And that's my only explanation for it. If they lose in the Big 12 championship, we're only taking one team from the Big 12, and that's it. So they're unworthy.
I think there's a difference. I'm actually not even going to go down the SEC path. Keep it in the Big 12 here. When you have parity in a conference like the Big 12, it is not working in your favor. It is not a great thing for the 11th seed in, or the 11th best team in the Big 12 to be only, a pick'em dogs to maybe the #1 team in the conference. Different in other conferences, but you don't want to look only as just a little bit better than the worst team in the Big 12.
Yeah, I think they'll be unworthy just because, similar to what you said, there's other teams in that conference that will have finished better, that will have looked better with less losses. But from a viewership and an eye standpoint, heck yeah, they're worth it. Everybody wants to see Colorado.
Right.
They
Colorado.
bring
It's a TV now.
It's good for the plot.
Yeah, but in terms of really breaking it down and understanding, the wins and losses, no, I think you got to put them out.
I think there's parity all over college football, which is why Texas A&M, as I'm looking at the standings, they're the second best team in the SEC according to the standards, and they're only a 2.5-point favorite against Auburn. That's why I think we have to honor what happens on the field more than ever. Here's why I don't think Colorado would be worried. The Big 12, I think, is the 4th best of the Power 4. They got to face a Big 10 opponent and got smoked by Nebraska, 28-10. That loss, I think, is what would keep them out.
All right. More to come here on College Football Pregame. We'll leave it there. You two going head-to-head. Someone's going to be shaving someone's head at the end of the season, I guess, with game picks.
I like my odds.